Indeed, indeed. Hey, I don't have long. This is your boy Crown Dion, and yeah, this your boy Crown Dion, and we're live, unapologetically, revolutionary. And right now, I ain't got a lot of time because I need TikTok. This like a letter to my congressman. You know, I'm in Florida for the uh, VA for the VA Veterans Administration in Bay Pines, Florida. The canteen, the VCS canteen. I want to make that clear. I'm talking about the Veterans Administration in Bay Pines, Florida, to Ron Desantis, because you are the governor, to the Byron Donalds, Nikki Free, Anna Paulina. You're a veteran as well. There's plenty of other veterans that serve the state of Florida, and it's just not for the state of Florida. These are also just not um, Republicans or Democrats. The one thing that they should have in common, one thing, happy Veterans Day. I hate to actually talk about this after a great day that should be celebrated, but the one thing that they should have in common is they are all veterans. And some of you have loved ones that are veterans. Some of you have friends that are veterans. Some of you have admiration for veterans that just served this country and did something that you probably wouldn't do, or I probably definitely wouldn't do, have the courage to do, or the will to do. And so I have a lot of admiration for those that have done it. I've marched a lot of miles for veterans, for homeless veterans, for veterans that had a simple chant of they wanted to die in their own homes instead of the veterans' homes, or instead of these homes that they had to stay in sometimes. So I've done a lot of fighting for the veterans, and it was a real honor when I started working at the Veterans Administration. So I want to make this clear to the director, the chief of operations. I wrote a letter to the Inspector General as well in Florida. The VA VCS canteen is serving your veterans raw food sometimes. They do not have a stove, so they can't bring the food up to temperature. That's very important. They do not have a dishwasher. They cannot properly clean the dishes. And so what I plan to do, since it seems like writing letters and writing Osha cannot work because the walls of the federal government are impenetrable, and you can't get lawyers to take this stuff on. You know, they'll take on anything except the federal government. The federal government, even, including Morgan and Morgan. There's a young lady in this VCS canteen that was sexually assaulted. Sexually assaulted. Of course, the colored girl. Of course. You know, sexually assaulted. Not only was the director of the kitchen or the VCS canteen, the manager, allowed to stay on the grounds and stay at the job, you know, walked out in handcuffs, walked out, arrested. I need the congressman to hear this. I'm an independent voter, matter of fact, so I need the congressman to understand this. Walked out in handcuffs, Mr. Ron DeSantis, and allowed to go back on the job to intimidate the witness and also bring retaliation on that witness who has now been fired. And I'm positive she was fired for retaliation for pressing charges on a director or a manager of the kitchen that sexually assaulted her. Where's all the Me Too movement? I need y'all to step up. Where's the My Body, My Choice movement? I need y'all to step up. You know, I got a habit of just kind of sticking my nose in sometimes, but, you know, sometimes you have to. You know, and in these instances, I was attacked. And these things that I'm talking about, I will be methodically laying it all out. I have done what I can do to bring awareness, and I will continue to do that, to fight for myself, to fight for the young lady who was sexually assaulted and then fired for pressing charges, which is retaliation. I continue to say that for those lawyers out there who act like they're tough lawyers and they'll fight the state, they'll fight this and that. But in looking for a lawyer for her, I found out that most of them are cowards and they don't want to do anything when it comes to the federal government. And when it comes to the federal government, your rights are very small, very, very small, and they can be played with, toyed with, pushed to the side at any time. And when you look around this country and consider what we have going on, when you consider that a lot of other people can be treated better than the citizens, that's a problem. The veterans are being treated like less than some of us treat our animals. When I say this, I will be showing you videos and pictures, like I said, because I couldn't stomach it anymore, so I started taking videos and pictures myself. You will notice that I was not serving raw food, but I was separate raw food from serviceable food. So many OSHA violations and so many health violations and concerns. So my main objective tonight is to say that those that might see this tonight or those that might see it tomorrow, warn your family. I was threatened when the kitchen had a sticker on the door telling us the kitchen was to be shut down and we were not to go in the kitchen and operate and cook food and process food and make food and serve it to those people because of mold, heavy mold. So much mold and so much danger that the people who did work in there had to have on hazmat suits, couldn't go in. We got pictures of all the signs. And so much, it was so bad that they called us in a meeting and threatened the whole crew. I'm just probably the one bold enough to come out and say it. Threatened all of us that if we told anybody about the conditions of the kitchen and we were still cooking, and we were still operating and processing and preparing food, that we would be fired. And then for some reason they looked at me and said, Kelvin, as if they knew about who I am and what I do. And, this is my background. As I say, I've fought for since 2002. When I was released from DOC, I fought for nothing but the betterment of our people, the betterment of voiceless people, the betterment of homeless people, the betterment of people with mental problems, the betterment of the veterans. And I've marched more miles than for veterans than a lot of people who are veterans. And it's a problem when you start seeing the common citizens that work in the VA or for the walls of the VA or for the to protect and serve these veterans. It's sad when you start noticing that the common people, the civilians, the ones who are not veterans, have more love and care and admiration for those veterans and for that service that they do than some of the veterans themselves. And the director of the kitchen who did the sexual assault, she's a veteran, but through the walls of the hiding behind the walls and laws and all of these rules and blockades that they have in the federal government, they're allowed to treat people like that, use those laws and use those little walls that they can hide behind and get away with it. They make it impossible to bring about awareness to the situation because they have fake EEO service numbers all over. I've taken pictures of them and now I know the real numbers because I do my research. And so, yes, we will be doing our best. And it ain't about get back. It's about making sure another young lady not touched and fired for pressing charges. And it's also for making sure veterans of the VA, veterans that served America, veterans that fought and continue to fight, don't come through the kitchen at the age of 70 and 80, at no age, but particularly some of them can barely see. Some of them can barely comprehend that they can comprehend a lot, but some of them can't look at the food and understand that it might not be properly made. Some of them depend on the man the man or lady standing behind that counter feeding that food. Some of them come through that with all kind of tests and they have to eat something. And so I think it's sad. And like I said to Governor Ron Desantis, you are a veteran. There are plenty of veterans that served in this state that aren't now in Congress, that are now in mayor seats, Senate seats, and all kind of seats. I will make it clear to the voters that you all received the letter, and the Veterans Administration have had power for a long time, but the government, I remember one president talking about giving the government power to fire those bad actors and fire those imposters that would come in and perpetrate these type of crimes on our veterans and disrespect the VA of America. That power needs to be brought forth. And I'm wrapping this part up because, TikTok you got 10 minutes. And so I wanted to do that for that sake of TikTok and get that out of the way. But I will continue. As I said, I will be methodically laying this out. I have wrote the Inspector General. I have wrote special counsel. I wrote OSHA. I wrote the health organization. I will be writing the CDC because so many violations. And the good thing about violations, when you can't wash dishes, when you find yourself coming in having to pick up dirty dishes and being asked to use that and serve the people, then that's a problem. And the sad thing is, I'm the only one. It should be more people seeing that as a problem than myself. Um, the morning that we came to work and we saw the sign on the door telling us we weren't allowed to come in, and because the kitchen was shut down, a man got fired that day. Not fired, but sent home. And because he's been over the kitchen, not over the kitchen, but he was in the kitchen for so long that he wanted to respect the Veterans Administration. He actually wanted to have respect and dignity for the institution that he served. And he wanted to respect the veterans that he cared for and that depended on him. And so he told us all, look at the door, look at the sign, let's stay out. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. He got sent home. That was a clear message to everybody that these people would stop at nothing. Your veterans and your loved ones and your health. Yeah, and we're not just talking about veterans that come through the VCS canteen. We're talking about workers, the service people that serve the veterans, come through there depending on something to eat. And so I'm speaking to the congressmen, I'm speaking to the mayors, I'm speaking to the Senate, I'm speaking to whoever, because you don't have to be in a seat to lift your voice and to care. Just stay tuned and don't say he's just yapping. I just want to methodically lay out everything, and I don't want to put too much on the table until I hear back from the Inspector General. But as I said, these are things that I videoed because I could not tolerate seeing a place feed these people like this. So I started taking pictures. They don't even have a stove. They have some type of little grill they bought from the store, and I'm like, you kidding me? You have stainless steel for a reason. That's why all operable kitchens have stainless steel stoves for a reason. That's scratching. That's for a reason. That's particular. And anybody who operates a kitchen will be able to tell you this. You have to have a dishwasher. When I say dishwasher, I don't mean a man back there washing dishes. I mean something that has hot enough water to wash the dishes. That's all. You don't have to be an electric dishwasher. But they don't have the capability of washing dishes. None of the containers they serve this juice in, they don't get washed. So I'm telling you, if you have family, if you have friends that eat in the VCS canteen in Bay Pines, Florida, tell them don't visit that canteen. Tell them if they have seen a family member get sick, it wasn't from what they ate last night at home, possibly. It wasn't from last week bad chicken. And it wasn't from your uncle or your grandfather or your grandmother who served, that may be a veteran and up in age. It wasn't just because they're getting naturally sick and they're older. It's because there are certain sicknesses that you can get when you serve an uncooked food, when you have refrigerators that can't come up to temperature, and so you're being told to serve raw, spoiled, out-of-date food. When you are told to mark down all the temperatures of how the food is being kept up to temperature all at one time. I see it happening almost every day until I made some reports. And obviously, I got fired for those reports. But also I got fired after the OSHA report. So you tell me what happened. So it's a lot of racism going on at the VCS canteen, which hides behind the walls of the Veterans Administration. And there's a lot of misuse of power. The whistleblower situation is a joke. I don't even know what it takes. And so I have to reach out to further help. When our teeth ain't exactly beautiful and we have a record and a background, and sometimes we're a little bit too, our voices don't go as far as they should when situations like this come out. So I just say to the people that may see this, share it, believe it. I will be, like I said, methodically coming back, and I mean fast, I'm talking about every day. I'm on something else. Because the first thing is to let people know not to go out and not just don't go out. Don't think I'm saying, oh, don't support this kitchen. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying your loved one can get sick, and I would be surprised if somebody else ain't haven't already died messing around with the VCS canteen in Bay Pines, Florida. If you have a loved one that has gotten sick and have eaten out of there, I can guarantee you they can try to clean it up, but video don't lie. It just don't lie. And so I also we will be, when I say we, I mean we. When I learned that there has not been a white person fired in years in there, but every time a black person hit the door, he out of there. Unless your complexion, I ain't gonna go there. And so I got work to do. Obviously, I will need funds, so I will probably, for the first time in my life, do a GoFundMe. But I say that God has given us a power, and that power is in our voice. When we can't do nothing else, even if you can't sing, you still got power in your voice. And so, and some of us have our powers in different ways. You know, all of us are not millionaires, and we can't do this or that. And so, this will take funds, but guess what? It's gonna happen. And I encourage anybody else that knows somebody else who may have went through the same type of situation, because I've learned that their power is very sneaky. Like I said, they have fake walls of the EEO services that don't even have power or jurisdiction over them. And so I have found out a lot of information that will help me get to their right EEO. And but the federal government should not allow this. And I'm letting chief operators know, the chief, the director of the Bay Pines facility. You have imposters at your administration, and they are not representing you, as in the VA, or the Veterans of America, and they are not representing America. And so, for the Gold Star families who may have loved ones out there, for military families from every branch of the military, not just one or two, and it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent like myself. That's important, Ron Desantis. Independent like myself. What are you going to do for the disrespect that the Veterans Administration is allowing through a business that cares nothing about the people that come through? What they care about is the money that they can get on the people that come through, and it doesn't matter what conditions they serve that food in or give to the people. I have been a witness to this, and I felt sick after doing it. Even when we were threatened that if we told anybody, we would be fired. Of course, I told my mother, because I had the type of mother that I come and see me at my job and eat, buy something. And so she wasn't the only one I told, because when you come out and you tell somebody, you better not tell somebody that we're doing this. Then of course you want to tell as many people as you care about, because you understand that their health and their life is on the line. So that's why I'm giving you the information. And don't say he waited till he was fired, because I just said I filed the Osha report, trying to depend on the government to come in and clean it up. But if you say one word, that's all it takes is one word. You write one word wrong. You know, they want you to guess. They treat everybody as if they're lawyers already. And that's not how it's supposed to go. They want you to come in knowing exactly what to say. And if you say one word wrong, oh, bing, we got to pass you on to somebody else. Wait a minute. You mean you won't take the information and put it in the right people's ears that can hear it? But you going to make me guess who it got to go to? So those are the kind of games that is played in the federal government. And I must admit, at my age, of course, I've worked for the state. Not the state in an official way like that, but in the state, I guess that's. And so I said that to say the state treats its employees much better. I ain't saying it's good treatment. I'm just saying much better, and I am so shocked. But I also understand that this is how the federal government is powerful, and it should be. Maybe not powerful over the people like it is, but it's powerful. But what I'm saying to the federal government and those that work for the federal government, the congressmen of America, the mayors, the governors, the presidents of America, who did I miss? City councils and the Senate. There is power that you've been given to fire these imposters. These imposters take care of your veterans, and the veterans are the ones that you have always said represent America. We just had Veterans Day. I waited until today because it was just a depressing to talk about on Veterans Day. And so I got a lot more to add to that. You know, I'm pressing discrimination charges myself and retaliation charges myself. And so obviously we need the ACLU or somebody who's not afraid of the federal government. And but I think paper by paper, this is a gift wrapped situation, because sometimes managers are so stupid. They don't understand that they are breaking the law. And some of them, they don't understand that they're breaking the law, but they're willing to do it because of the power they think they have. You understand that? Yeah, they're willing to push it. They're willing to push it that far and say we can hide behind the federal government. No. Mr. Federal Government, whoever you are, is that Mr. Sam? Don't let those imposters and companies like that hide behind your laws and your federal government, especially up under the veterans in the Veterans Administration, and abuse them. Treat them any type of way that they want to treat them. And the workers that service those same veterans. No. We're seeing around the world right now so many people being treated much better than our own citizens. And we've already seen it happening to our veterans. Believe me, that's what I was marching for. I was one of them standing at the White House gates. So I know I've done my fighting for not just the veterans, but for the people. Years. There's a lot of people out there already know it. They say, yeah, they already know it. And so the Veterans Administration or the VCS Canteen did not know it when they hired me. They did not know when they hired me that I had marched miles and miles from a state to a different state, all in the rights for veterans who simply wanted to die in their own homes that they had earned through war and merit. Yeah, in the rain. And guess what? Veterans marching with us in the rain. Some of them in wheelchairs. In the rain. From Temple. There's a lot of people from Temple right now was in that march. Yeah. Bruce Wright, shout out to you, man. Poor People's Campaign, shout out to you. Cherry. I might need to holler at you. I need representation, but not only for myself, but for the veterans. Not only do I need representation, but I told that young lady who was sexually assaulted. And I know much more about that. I know much more about that because I was a token hire. But I don't want to drag this out too long. But you'll learn more about the token hire thing, because I was told about that young girl. Guess by who? The management. Because they wanted to fire the girl that actually signed the co-statement, the witness statement. And so I got pulled within 2 weeks of my hiring. I was pulled in the back room and told about this sexual assault. And I was like, they thought I knew, and I was like, no, I don't know nothing about that. I don't want to be involved. They wanted me to help them fire the white girl that helped sign the witness statement. Yeah, she still shit. So she don't even know her job is that day. She do know because I told her. But it's things like that we have to methodically lay out. But these are things that can be proven through text communication, but more than anything, video. Because I don't want to get into the personal stuff. I want to keep it about the veterans, and I want to keep it on the people with power to fire those imposters and to change the laws that hide that imposters like that at the VCS Canteen, the director and the manager, can hide behind when they violate people's laws, and they violate people's health, they violate people's workers' rights, but more than anything, violate people's health concerns and their lives. The families of the people, they look people in the eye and just know that they, like I said, I don't want to make it personal. I rather the video speak for itself. You can see it and say, ooh, my father was eating that. I love to take my mother out there. Oh, and they seem so nice. Trust me, you'll notice in videos, you'll hear me complaining, and it's sad, and I'm smiling just doing my, not at the situation that I'm talking about, but just in what I did to do my best to help this situation, soften the blow, uh, keep the keep the harm as less as possible, if that's the thing, and keep people as healthy as possible. Um, and God is good. It's crowned Deanna unapologetically revolutionary, and I did this just to say, more than anything, right now, it is important not to be lazy and say there's nowhere else to go to get food or to get um, lunch for my father or my mother or my grandfather or my grandmother or my uncle or just my friend who has served in the armed forces of the USA, and they're at the VA, or they have to go to the VA and because they're sick, or they have to go take tests, or they have to go do this or that. You can't sit there. Go to the kitchen. If the kitchen. I mean, if they serve food, I don't know how that works, because I'm not speaking of the VA in itself. That's why I want the VA in itself, the chief, the big man, the big guy, the big people that sits at the one long table. You need to understand the VCS canteen is representing you because they're under your jurisdiction or whatever. They're under your type of care, or not care, but they operate under you, and they're representing you by slapping you in the face. They're serving people bad food. They're serving, not we won't say bad, because then you think I'm making it personal. I can guarantee you I have videos of raw food being served, but I wasn't willing to serve it. I was the reason why they kept coming up short on food, if you know what I mean. Throw this away. They wouldn't throw nothing away. As a matter of fact, me and one good cook, we had made it a habit of separating stuff before the manager got there, because they would serve it. They didn't care. They didn't care. Out of date, change the date. Write the temperatures in all at one time. Don't even check it. When inspection coming out of, and this also, whoever's inspecting that kitchen should also be fired. Because they come in there and they see all type of violations. I got the violations. I got them. I got all kind of nasty stuff. Them people see. They see the refrigerators all broke up and stuff. And what? They have a little key conversation. And there's no big deal. No big deal. We're all getting paid. Just have it better next time. Meanwhile, some older veterans are getting sick. And they're chalking it up, saying, oh, we're getting older. Oh yeah, we're getting old. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that stomach virus is really taking place. Never chalking it up to, it's that VCS canteen at the Bay Pines, Florida Veterans Administration. And so, I don't know all of the congressmen or political figures that serve as representatives of Florida, and congressmen of Florida, and judges, and all type of things. Just you being a veteran yourself, or having a father or mother or wife or husband or son or daughter, or being a Gold Star mom or father, just being any type of way affiliated with the Veterans Administration. If you know, pass it on, because you have a right to know what you're eating, how you're being treated. If you won't eat dirty dishes at your own house. So how you gonna let a place with roaches crawling around come in there and serve you dishes that just set overnight, and they ask us to wash it in a sink that's only got cold water? I got proof. I got proof. And so, because when you think something's sad and appalling, you have to take, you just pull out your phone and say, whoa. And sometimes you're scared to say something because you already saw proof. Remember, I was a token hire. This is something I mean, those girls know. I had no way of knowing nothing about this sexual assault. I had no way of knowing nothing about the director of the VCS canteen being walked out in handcuffs. I had no way of knowing that. But they thought that those girls shared that private information with me, somebody they didn't even know. And they called me in the back room and told me all their business, and let me know I was the one sent to replace them. Replace the one who was supposed to be the witness. I felt like they didn't really speak so hard about the one who actually pressed charges, even though they mentioned her. Just the mention of it means when they fired her, it was a retaliation because she pressed charges. So you can't even be sexually assaulted in the VCS canteen at the VA in Bay Pines, Florida, and press charges and have your job. That's sad. I need somebody who's somebody in the VA. We can't talk about the EEO. I don't want to hear anything about the union or the EEO because they have no jurisdiction over that VCS canteen. I've already learned this. And I want to be so thankful and grateful for those people in the union that have stuck their neck out and went above and beyond, and those at the EEO. But that is how I know they have no power. That VCS canteen has a different EEO, but they don't tell the employees about it. They hide that information from us. So I say this once more, and then I'm going to end this. To Governor Ron Desantis, a veteran. To Anna Paulina Luna, a veteran. To Congressman, not Congressman, but Representative of Florida in 19th District, Nikki Freed and Byron Donalds. Rick Scott, all of these people. Charlie Crist. You know, you don't have to be in the game to be upset. Check on what I'm talking about. Obviously, you can get in touch with me and ask me for any type of videos. Every time you try to file the complaint, you can't put up videos for some reason. So I have not been able to send the videos to the Senate yet. I mean, special counsel or inspectors. And actually, the special counsel, they don't care either. Because I was told, because I was not a direct federal worker, all of that stuff is irrelevant what you're talking about. How is this possible? Okay. So we're going to be working on that. I thank God for another beautiful day and another beautiful night. God is good. Happy Veterans Day again. It should be a week if, as far as I'm concerned. And, I appreciate the service. I remember when this thing, the threat for, was supposed to be a day of terror not too long ago. And to see the cops, and, just being honest, being that I was in there, to see these cops coming in there ready for war, knowing that they would be the targets before I would. I literally thanked one of them cops for the first time ever in my life. It was different. Here it is. It was just different. And so, but I did it from a standpoint of always having that admiration and respect for veterans. Period. You don't have to agree politically with nothing to have respect for those that actually went in. And so when I had an opportunity to work there, it was with high admiration. I took pictures, you'll see. And so I couldn't let that admiration go, and I couldn't feed those people that raw food. I couldn't feed them, knowing that I literally was telling people don't eat it unless it's fried, because I knew the conditions of the food, and I had to do that. And I'm not sorry for it. Not sorry. Beyonce. That's right. Not sorry at all. Crown Dion, unapologetically revolutionary. God is good. And we're going to do this thing. I appreciate those who served. And I ask those who asking for service, those who are asking for votes, and particularly those who are asking for votes that served and call themselves Veterans of America, to go down, use your power, find the imposters, just once you see the videos, that's enough. You can look into the other stuff later because it's all true. But they need to be fired immediately. Yeah. You got the power. They need to be fired immediately. That's it. That's all. Solo, single, no more, no less. A little bit of KRS-One before I go out. All right. All right, man. God is good. Support those who are doing good work. Don't stick to a party. Stick to the truth. And always, God over government. That's it. All right. I'm out. Crown Dion. Peace.